everyone, is Michael Shepard. So we had an interview together, about 2 months ago,
Yeah,
where we
the way that
talked.
time flies.
It does, and we talked about SpellAid. So
Mm-hmm.
for those of you who did not tune into that video, please pause this and go back and watch that interview that we did about what SpellAid is and how that can help support you with your dyslexia or struggling readers with spelling. But today, I'm so excited to have Michael Shepard back. So he is the founder and creator of SpellAid, and we're also going to delve into VoxAid and Dragon Professional technology today. So those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Lauren. I am a special educator. I am the founder and creator of Think Dyslexia. Michael, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, well, yeah. Good afternoon from where I am at the moment. My name is Michael Shepard. So pleased to be here again with you, Dr. Lauren. Yes, I'm an assistive technology trainer. Got a few years of experience behind me, believe it or not. So yeah, very excited to be here today to share with you not only about voice recognition, or sometimes referred to as speech to text, the book that I wrote, and also to give you an insight to VoxAid, which is the add-on for Dragon Professional, the application. Yeah.
Excellent. So so those of you who have seen my interviews, you know that I usually try to have 4 pointed questions because I know that we are busy human beings and we want to get straight to the point. So let's get started. So the first question, Michael, for you is, how does voice recognition help with dyslexia?
Okay, great question. So often individuals with dyslexia often find that they can't actually should I say they can articulate or express their ideas and thoughts verbally, so on whichever specific topic or subject they might be talking about, but can often struggle with actually transferring that knowledge down as written work. So voice recognition or speech to text is a fantastic strategy for helping individuals get their thoughts and ideas down onto paper.
Right.
And that can be done obviously by using speech to text software such as Dragon Professional. And, overall, it's going to enable individuals to be able to focus on expressing their ideas, employing a wide range of vocabulary rather than on the mechanics of actually writing or concern over their correct spelling or any spelling mistakes.
Right, right. Now that was a great answer. And I feel like teachers and parents really need to hear and understand that as well, because we need to move, from my experience, and I feel like COVID has shown us this with schools worldwide. Technology is the wave of the future. And I recognize that there are some teachers that do want the paper and pen, which is still good for dyslexic students. Don't get me wrong. However, we need to utilize the speech to text. It's not okay to say, well, you need to handwrite that whole essay, or you need to just type it on the computer. Typing is another form of AT as well, but this is just another step up that I feel like parents and teachers need to understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are the various methods that people can use to carry out voice recognition within their work?
Okay, so there's a range. So if we take on the Mac, for example, the operating system does come with Apple Dictation and voice control, which enables dictation. Then there's the likes of Google Docs, if you're a user of Google Docs.
Right.
In the Chrome browser, that's now offering a dictation tool. Microsoft Office 365 now offers a dictation tool within Word, for example. And on the PC, and much of what I come across is the Dragon Professional software, which is pretty much widely acknowledged as the #1 speech to text software out there, not only for its accuracy in terms of, when we're doing our voice recognition, but also as well the ability to dictate commands and the various sort of editing tools that it makes available once you've actually dictated your work as well. So yeah, it's across the board.
So I have a follow-up question about that. So I know I did an interview with Dr. Terry Nolan about Learning Ally, and that's basically audiobooks that have voice that actually you can connect with. So it's not a computer. It's not like Microsoft Sam, it's an actual voice.
Yeah.
Talk to the audience about, can you share, how does the voice pick up I guess, how can I word this? If I am using Dragon right now, is it kind of like Siri, where it picks up the way I speak and knowing where to put commas? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Great question. Dragon Professional, the way it works is that you have a profile within the application. So there's a profile for Dr. Lauren. The more you use Dragon, the better it's going to get. It's going to learn over time. The more you correct any of the sort of mistakes that it might make,
Right.
it's going to learn from those corrections. So in terms of moving forward, dictation is going to become easier and easier. Now, you talked about including punctuation, commas,
Right.
full stops, or periods for you. There is an option to include commas and full stops and get the actual Dragon application to do that automatically. Although I tend to go with teaching the students that I come across that they dictate, but also put the commas and the full stops in as part of that dictation. So for example, hello, Dr. Lauren, comma, how are you today? Question mark can be done.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, very much Dragon revolves around enabling the user to dictate as naturally as possible. That's what we want. I don't want to train my students to say that, to tell them that you have to talk like a robot, because you don't talk like a robot. We want you to talk how you talk. Any errors that occur, let's look at the correction method. Dragon will learn from those correction methods.
And so I feel like my teacher brain is telling me right now, because I do have some students who don't know where to put commas. And so that could be an editing tool where as they're speaking, we print it off and we could say, okay, let's talk about where we would put a pause here. What kind of punctuation? So I think that I'm just throwing that tip out there for parents, because that is a great way to utilize this to take it to the next step.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good point. Great.
Yeah. So Michael, tell us a little bit about, I know you wrote a book. Dragon Professionals. Please tell us a little bit about this.
Well, as you can tell, and I am a bit of a Dragon enthusiast. So really, over the years, I've spent a lot of time, as I mentioned, with Dragon, you can actually perform or dictate commands. So like I said, over the years, I've been developing commands for myself, really to sort of automate my own sort of processes, whether that's paperwork, and have those processes carried out by just issuing voice commands. And really, as I was looking over the web for like sources and maybe help of how to go about creating commands, I found that there wasn't really a lot of information out there. And it tended to be slightly techie in terms of any information that you did get. So I really set the task to myself and said, look, I want to produce a book that really encourages anyone. And, you don't have to have that coding background to take advantage of building your own commands.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's the whole sort of idea behind it. I wanted it to be full of examples, clear illustrations, etc. A book that hopefully, I can learn from myself, as it were. So it's there to encourage individuals to create their own commands, from the most simplest to the most complex as well, to automate processes that they do with their software. Yeah, that's what the book's all about, really. That's what hopefully it delivers that, and it's being very well received, which is really pleasing. So hopefully my teaching style comes across in the book anyway.
Definitely. So where can we find this? Amazon, right?
Yeah, the book is available on Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's now a Kindle version. You can also find the book at the dragonspeechtips.com website. So that's a site that I'm involved in. So you can actually purchase the PDF version of the book, because some people prefer that. And it is accessibility friendly. So that's going to work with like screen readers and so on and so forth, if you don't want the physical. So yeah, all major sort of bookstores online. Just type in Dragon Professional a step further, and it should pop up at your end.
So my $1 million question, although I am not dyslexic, and I always want to let my audience know this, I like audiobooks. Can you get this on Audible? Is this on Audible?
Not yet, Dr. Lauren.
Okay.
um, it has crossed my mind.
Right.
Um, I've actually looked at some technical books from an audiobook perspective,
Okay.
and the ones that I've come across, I found them personally little bit hard to take on.
Okay.
So much as, yes, I do want to do this, but I want to make sure that when I do have or deliver an audio version, it's got to be engaging, it's got to be right. And maybe it's going to be a case of maybe it's audio stroke video. That
Okay.
could be the way forward for me. But it's definitely something that's on my radar, something that I definitely want to look into.
Yeah, and I only ask that because I know for me, when I commute into work, I like to listen to books. I like to absorb, information. Or if I go out for a run, I like to do that.
Oh, of course,
So
yeah.
yes, but I just had to ask for my audience.
Yeah,
So
great.
Michael, we are coming to the end of our interview, but I want to hit the last question about VoxAid. So I know that you're also the creator of VoxAid,
Yeah.
and I know it's also an add-on to Dragon Professional. So can you share with our audience, what is VoxAid? How is this an add-on? How can they benefit from this app?
Okay, great. So as you said, VoxAid is an add-on to the Dragon Professional application. So the whole sort of crust of VoxAid is that wanting to enable users to navigate, automate, and perform their software functions by voice. So with Dragon, it does have commands built in, but a lot of the commands are quite generic. So what VoxAid does is it adds thousands of bespoke commands to the Dragon Professional application. So if you're mind mapping, for example, maybe you're creating branches, creating topics, instead of having to remember the keyboard shortcuts or trying to access menus looking for the specific function, with VoxAid installed, you just dictate the function. So for example, create subtopic, create a branch, for example. So that eliminates the need for remembering keyboard shortcuts, eliminates the need for getting lost in menus and all the various sort of functions that might be within that software. So again, we're going to be able to reduce keyboard action, reduce mouse action as well. So that's going to be great for people, maybe carpal tunnel syndrome, for
Oh,
example.
wow.
They're going to be able to do so much more by voice. And it's funny because actually, they say that we can dictate 3 times faster than we can type. But with VoxAid installed, you can actually control your software 3 times faster than without it. So I'll also put that in there as well. So yeah, it's been, again, very well received. It's worked primarily with assistive technology software. There are some what we call advanced commands for the likes of Word, for example, and Excel. So with Word, many of the students that I come across like to highlight the information. Maybe they're reading journals, that type of thing. They want to highlight their work, and then maybe they want to extract that highlighted information into a separate document for further review. So rather than having to copy, paste, open the second document, copy, paste, open the second document, all you need to say, extract the highlights, and it does it
Wow.
automatically for you. So, productivity, enhancing the
Yes.
productivity, improving the workflow. We're trying to reduce all those little micro steps that one has to carry out in order to perform a task, and just by allowing people to verbalize the commands, and that's what VoxAid adds to the table. In fact, there's some really good examples at the YouTube. So if anyone wants to Google VoxAid YouTube channel, you can see the VoxAid commands in action there. So really exciting, always improving it to really cater for a wide variety of people. So loving the project.
Is amazing. And I have to tell you, my birds are impressed too. I don't know if you can
excellent.
hear them in the background. They're like, wow, VoxAid, I've got to get on that. So Michael, this was a lot of information in a short amount of time, but I want to let the audience know, please, 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 if you are not following SpellAid on Instagram or Twitter, please do. And I want you all to be well-versed in understanding how technology can really open up your world And please contact Michael Shepard. He is amazing at what he does.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
Michael,
And don't forget to check out the VoxAid YouTube channel as well. So, you know, have a look at what it does. It's exciting. And yeah, for those of you who do purchase the book, you know, reach out and say hello. Let me know how you're finding it. I do get the odd email from people from across the world, which is fantastic. Great. And I try to reply to as many as I can. So, you know, it's brilliant all around.
That's amazing. Well, listen, Michael, I am always so pleased to collaborate with you, and maybe we'll do a part 3. You never know.
Absolutely. I would love to.
Well, have a good rest of your afternoon.
Yes.